Okay, so through visiting fourth grade math classes, I've been learning what it is fourth graders are doing right now in math. And both at Greenfield and at Maxwell, the math classes are dealing with shapes and triangles and quadrangles and squares and rectangles and trapezoids and lots of things that I would have to look up to know exactly what I was talking about. And so I was talking with Mrs. Wiley and didn't realize that you might not know that this is available for your students to do. If you have your students, this would just be a great little review for them for these shapes and also spelling them. So if you have your students open up Word, they can go to Insert Shapes, and then there's several different categories here, and there's really two ways that your students could do this. They could go to like this rectangles section of it, and then you could have them simply draw a rectangle, in which they click on a rectangle, and then there's nothing there. They click their mouse and hold and drag, and it simply gives them a rectangle. And then if you wanted to, you could have them click underneath it a couple times and type in rectangle. Oops, we need an R on that. Rectangle. Okay, and enter. And maybe you wanted them to then insert a triangle. Well, you would go up and have them find a triangle. Here's one, and they click on it, and then click and hold their mouse and drag, and there's a triangle. Click twice underneath it, and they can type in triangle. So then they're getting getting that reinforced that that's a triangle, and this is how you spell it. You could also, and there are all sorts of shapes in here, and like this one is a 7-sided shape that you would draw, and an 8 and a 10, and here's I think that's a parallel. Oh, it is a parallelogram. And I think it's a trapezoid and a rhombus, and so they can just draw those shapes and just get more experience. You're drawing those and typing in what they are. You can also make it a little bit more difficult on them and tell them they can only use lines, and then they would click and hold their mouse and draw a line, and go get their line again. And if you're trying to have them draw a rectangle, not that let them use the stock rectangles, but have them draw one just using these lines. And then you could look at it and say, yeah, that pretty much looks right. Tell me about these angles. These have to be right angles. So there's several things just in Word that they could do to reinforce their shapes.